Hello, chat. Hello. Welcome to another Ninja Gato interview. Today, I have a very special guest, the one and only Kiwi, Deving Legend,
The one and only
Wardstone
Kiwi. Correct.
Studio. How are you? How are you,
Hey, how's it
Wardstone?
going, man?
Wardstone. All right,
How you doing?
Gotta get that one tick of volume, which is always a struggle for me. What's going on? Got to pay me to say
just,
hey? No.
yeah, just hanging out. Thought I'd
Just
come
hanging
drop
out.
by.
Nice. Alright. So, Wardstone. Very nice. The first question we always ask in a Ninja Gato interview is the lore behind the name. So, can you tell us how you came up with the name for your channel, Wardstone Studio?
So, this is a name that I've been sort of thinking about for years. Can't really get too deep into the who, but it is kind of named after two very important people to me.
Oh?
So like, hey, if I go too deep into that, it's like, well, that's just doxing, right? But no, it's named after a couple of people who are super important to me, super influential in my life, and it's also one of the reasons I'm not super keen on people mashing up that name, and when they make fun of the name so much. There is a few. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, there's a few people who call me like Wardstone or Wardrobe, and those kind of come from a natural memeage over time. But I also tend to not have the same handle on any like across websites. I usually have a different one every single time.
Wardrobe was an autocorrect fail for me, says Zombie UK. He feels bad for that one, obviously. Guilty.
No, it's so good. It's stuck and it's funny. There's people who call me Wardrobe who have no idea where it came from, and they're just like, but that's just what we call you, to the point where people have tried to shout me out and they've typed in Wardrobe to shout out.
Oh, and failed. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right. So the other thing
but otherwise, I do want to clear up one thing.
Oh. They are breaking your brain again with the cheeses you forgot to turn off.
No, not breaking my brain, just breaking my computer. If I click on anything, it smashes the C button.
Oh, interesting. Good job, Gatos.
But, like, you probably noticed, and this is absolute slander, and by slander, I mean people asking questions, because they asked me, hey, are you a raging bisexual? Because my name on Discord is whole themed. Didn't think about that when I put that name in there.
No, that is quite the name. Holy cow.
Yeah. Look, I just want to put this out here. Like, there's a reason, okay?
Trap hole?
He's just a little guy. That's me when I open up the curtains in the morning, or after stream, or at any point during the day, to be honest.
Very interesting. Okay, and then the second thing I'm going to do, Wardstone, is I'm going to shout you out and pin your channel after the shout out, but if you do you have my stream open? Because it's going to play a random clip, and you are going to have to explain the context behind said random clip.
I don't have your stream element.
Stream open, yep.
Yeah, oh, actually, yeah, sorry, I've got your stream open.
Alright, pay attention. You're going to tell me what's happening in said clip.
Stop talking about smacking my chicken. At least I'm not choking my chicken on stream.
Please. At least I'm not choking my chicken on stream. Please stop slapping my chicken. What is going on in
be
that
honest,
clip?
I only get clipped when I say things that are horrific out of context.
Horribly sus things? Your community, your chat would do that?
Right? Like, they cut
sus
things off at
things?
just the worst possible time. There is no explanation for that. I don't even remember. I think that might have been possibly Stardew Valley or Minecraft related.
Really?
Gotta be honest, it's not the worst clip that could have come up.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go rub one out.
Meanwhile, my community's like, we have those too, and you gave them to us as sound alerts so we can torture you
The
with.
sound that makes me come.
Yeah, the worst one, and this is from like a week ago, is a sound clip of me just saying, "All right, let's beat the shit out of some children."
Oh, that is a sound clip.
Yeah, dude, we were playing Stardew Valley. You get to the Egg Festival, you're going up against kids and the hot goth. Save me, Gato. Pray for me. What else are you gonna do? They can't run. They got small legs. They got short legs. They can't run as fast as you. Also, I know the perfect route through the town.
True. Thank you, Little Hollow, for the other sound. The 75 biddies. Alright, Ward is master at sounding outrageous out of context. Nice, Chris Patch. Yes, chat seems to really enjoy clipping people out of context.
I'm just going to assume it's a cultural thing, you know. Things
It's
that
the
I
way of
say,
which
my Kiwi accent just seem a little bit off.
I just have fun. I just have fun. Alright. Next standard issue question for the interview is the hardware setup. What is required to operate your stream? What are you using to operate your stream?
I'm sorry. Someone just donated 100 bits. I forgot to turn off that redeem, so I got screamed in the ear of. I assume it's the hardware question.
Yes. That's funny because it's 100 bits on my channel. It's still operated on your channel.
Oh, it is too. Oh, that's even...
This shared
Right.
chat. It's a 2-for-1. 100 biddies
Oh.
embarrasses me and breaks Wardstone. And it doesn't matter which
Okay,
channel you use it on.
You know what? I'm leaving that in then. That's fantastic.
This is content. This is content.
It's all content, and I might just have to chuck in
Thank you for the song of my people, by the way, Little Hollow.
stream
Alright.
bot into the mix.
Alright, yes. Hardware setup. What is required to
but-
run a Wardstone studio stream?
Well, a potato to start off with.
Potato.
Yeah, I've got a potato PC. Something you mentioned earlier on when you would like shout me out and stuff. Fantastic choice of words, by the way. What was it? Hang on. I need to remember them. But it was like making games aimed at the low end user or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because I'm one of them.
Oh.
But I've got an i5 9400F as my
Okay.
CPU.
i5.
So like old as well, tiny and old. A 2060 Super and a DDR3, 16 gig of DDR3. So you know, there's not a lot going on there. My new rig that is within touching distance. I just need a 5090 to go in there. I hear I'm getting one of those after this interview.
Wait, what?
That's got a i9. Hang on, it's a lot of numbers, but it starts with 14. It's one of the 14th gen Intel CPUs, KF. So you know we've got no integrated graphics, so I need that GPU. And you know, hey, I can overclock it if need be. But let's see if I'm ballsy enough to do that. Otherwise, that's got 64 gig of DDR5 and, well, yeah, no GPU yet.
Okay, so you're currently operating a potato, but you have you are building a streamer PC. It sounds like.
Yeah. So I've got it swapped over. I've got it I've swapped over my GPU, my existing GPU into that to set it up. Oh man, it's so much more powerful. It's noticeable. It's so noticeable. And also chucked Tiny 11 on there as the operating system, so it's a stripped down version of Windows 11. So it only takes up like half a gig's worth of RAM to just exist on your PC rather than like 1.5 to 2.
Smokescreen says, brother, don't overclock a 14th gen CPU.
I've flashed the BIOS and they're stable-ish now.
Maybe. He is a mad lad tinkerer. But okay, very excited to hear. You got a new rig coming. Very good. No, I think my
So excited.
compliment was something along the lines of having a PC that is of a older gen forces you as a developer to focus optimization, and that is key when doing game deving, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's why I want to keep this PC when I upgrade, so anything I make, I chuck back onto this computer here, give it a bit of a test run, see how it's feeling. Find ways to just optimize that so anyone can play, because one of my favorite games, I can't play right now because they moved over to the Unreal Engine and they didn't optimize. Yep.
Smokescreen says, if you overclock that 14 gen, it will degrade the microcodes to help slow down the degradation, not a complete fix. 07 Intel. Interesting.
Oh.
Geofracture Game says, I think he's saying very true to focusing on optimization. I've done the same thing. I have a stack of older laptops so I can test UE on older machines, says Geofracture Games. Wait, what is your game that they switched over to Unreal and you can no longer play on your existing PC?
Hunt Showdown.
Hunt
I've
Showdown?
got a friend with a identical rig, or almost identical rig. He can play it fine, but there's just something about the new update that just tanks my computer. Yeah, they may have done some optimization updates since, but I figured, you know what, this one's aging. It's probably not really made to handle a new AAA game. The biggest issue I was having is like minimum you need like 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And, you know, this has 6 available once you get over that initial like initial hump of just existing.
Yep. Smokescreen says, I don't know why some devs have stopped optimizing. It makes no sense to ignore 60% of the market share. And Boom says, because optimization is expensive labor, pass the cost of the consumer makes them buy 4090s. True. Also, optimization is boring. Like, when it comes to Dev World...
No, it's so much fun. Granted, I'm a nerd who likes maths, so I'm probably the perfect person for that.
Yeah, like, all these devs, like, out of school, they want, like, the hottest looking, most hyper-realistic, awesomest graphics and game. But, yeah, you need a, you know, $5,000 computer to run it, which is not cool.
Yeah, Boom gets it. Optimizing is like pure dopamine. Absolutely.
Got to get out. I am offended at that statement, says Geofracture Games. Also, PC game devs, why is computer gaming dying? True. Yeah, mobile gaming is taking over. Like, if you take PC gaming and console gaming combined, mobile gaming is still bigger by a landslide.
And that's
Also,
because of, like, the Brazil and Chinese markets, right? Whoa.
You just got a 46 viewer raid?
Yeah.
Or did I get that?
Just Cavino. Thank you very much for the raid.
Nice.
I jumped in on his stream yesterday to be like, yo, I keep hearing about you. Who are you? Basically. And it was like on a very, this is not my usual content stream. So I guess, wow, dude, thank you very much.
Welcome, Raiders, on Wardstone's channel. We're interviewing Wardstone today, so you guys get to learn all about them, Raiders. I'm not going to buy a 5090 to play a game when 600 PS5 can play it, right? Maybe. Yes, look at all those Raiders that came over here to lick you.
No, that makes sense. You know, it's the salt here. It makes me very tasty, especially this time of year, middle of summer. I'm basically getting basted constantly.
Poor Job never heard of him. Are those real anvils? Not sure, Boom. Not sure. Okay. All right, so we went
Oh,
over. What about like accessories, like mic? What do you use for your audio? Any stream
oh,
decks?
right.
Any
Yeah.
peripherals?
So I've gone through three stream decks in the time that I've done this, because I build my own. For one, I've got a legitimate stream deck I use now, and the jump up is so much different. But previously, I had one of these. Hang on,
What the hell
Raspberry
is that?
Pi.
Oh.
On a touchscreen. Worked fantastic. Getting it to talk between the two different OSs was a huge pain, because you have to set up a server and a client and have them talk back and forth, and it just never would never work, you know. Sorry, I got distracted by chat. It happens. You can tell the difference between Aussies and a Kiwi when they say deck. The thing that sits outside that you barbecue on. Just want to point that out there. But otherwise, I've got a Snowball microphone. I would pick it up if I could, but it makes a lot of noise. It sits just here, pointed up at my face. And then I've also continued on with the Elgato theme with the webcam.
Okay. Elgato webcam.
Other than that, a lot of what I got is just a whole bunch of hodgepodge that I've sort of mangled together over the course of 10 years of just enjoying tech and doing like YouTube videos and like having big aspirations for things that I probably shouldn't.
Yep, and then Smokescreen says, ironic part is that the DIY Steam Deck has less buggy software than the real Elgato shit.
Not even wrong, and it's a lot more user friendly, because I'm making I'm making every interaction as well, which is the hard part. So like, but once I get a button set there, it talks to StreamerBot, and then I'm not doing this weird thing where my stream deck, I hit a button, that's hitting a series of key commands on my keyboard. It's just talking direct, you know.
All right, let me ask you this, Wardstone. Is that gamer correct in saying three things I know to be true? Hypno is Kiwi, Wardrobe is Aussie, and Bags is an American. I don't think that's accurate.
Yes, all very accurate. Hypno's a Kiwi, I'm an Aussie, and Beegs is American. Yep, absolutely correct. Also, Beegs is really old, ancient even. You know, he rode a dinosaur to school, uphill both ways.
Oh, sorry, I read it as Bags. It is Beaks. Thank you for correcting me.
Everyone does. It's one of the greatest jokes of our time. That, and he's a Minecraft streamer. Also, he doesn't stream anymore, so rest in peace.
Interesting. Okay.
But no, he's a good friend, and actually, okay, he's not here. Yeah, okay, he's my hero, guys. Just so you know.
Oh, interesting. He's your hero.
When I'm that old, if I can still use a computer, I'll be. That's why I look up to him.
Clip it. They're gonna ship it.
Oh,
They're gonna
no.
clip it and ship it.
No, look, every time I've said that, I've also said something horrendous right afterwards, and chat can never help themselves. They have to clip the horrendous thing, so he thinks it's a joke still.
Interesting. All right, and let's talk about the software setup. What is the software required to run Wardstone Studio Stream?
Oh, okay. So this is the fun part. I've got like 7 or so streams on my other computer. I got StreamerBot and SpeakerBot, so I've got TTS through SpeakerBot. StreamerBot, if we open this up, I can show you. Hang on, I'm going to have to turn off cheese for a moment so we don't wipe my StreamerBot. I've learnt. Good thing I've got backups. But if we look down here, these are all the interactions that we've got, as well as like bit redeems Um, so, hang on, I just realized that's way too big in the background. Let's bring this in because we're zoomed in on my secondary screen.
All right, so StreamerBot. This is
So
StreamerBot.
we've got StreamerBot with all the different redeems and all the different interactions that chat can have. I've even got a whole bunch of stuff worked into the commands on the platform. So there's a game that I'm making currently, and the idea behind it is that chat uses up their what are they called? Channel points to change the probabilities of the outcome of the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Still trying to find the actual game in that game because it's like you start the probabilities and then we start the game and then it's just me tapping the space bar like 30 times. So the game part of it still needs to grow from the mechanics that are there.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, no, we've got a nice, fully fleshed out stream, whole bunch of throwables, a whole bunch of sounds, a whole bunch of first chats. Like a big part of those first chats is that's a good way to announce that, hey, a person I consider a friend or someone I look up to or whatever, they have arrived. And I want to add a hell of a lot more. And the reason
Very
behind
cool.
that is just there's something about the shout out, and not bagging on anyone who does this, but someone's come in, I'm going to shout them out. And then there's like no explanation or no wind down from that. Or no explanation. I think it's just like a hard cut, and it's like, oh, hey, here's this random shout out in the middle of the stream. Whereas the way I've done it is like the hope is that, oh, here's a little bit of here's a bit of an interruption. Oh, hey, there they are. I have a bit of interaction. And then usually I mention, oh, hey, they stream too.
So I get more
something
context of who that other streamer is that came into your chat. Okay.
Exactly. And it feels more like me rather than just being just copying what everyone else does.
Okay, well, maybe if I go in your chat in the future, you'll be like, look, it's Cat.
Yeah, and it just shotguns a whole bunch of your face at my screen.
Nice.
Actually,
nice.
Hey, we can even show that right now because we do have.
It's a nice way to learn about new streamers. True, Zombie UK.
Oop. Here we are. But
What's
if I
going on?
do say like, hey, Beaks is showing up. This might be covered up by you as a cat, I realize. Oh, wait, no, because I'm sending you a very different thing. Hey, come over onto my stream for a moment to see that.
Okay.
Watch the VOD or whatever. But basically, I mean, you could see it in the background. It just shotguns a whole bunch of
art at
their logo.
Oh, their logo.
And they stick to the stream and they sit there for the 30 seconds or so.
Oh, that's cool. The branding of your friends shows up when they show up. That's cool.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
And then otherwise, it's like, hey, new people come in. Well, I don't have a lot of people hanging around, so screw it. What do you do? What are you up to? Oh, cool. What can I learn from you? What can you learn from me?
Very cool. All right. What other software do you use besides StreamerBot?
Well, the Cheese Thrower 3000, which also holds all the throwing mechanics. That one was actually because Boom bullied me into it. I had to make it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've got PNG Tuber Maker, which I have sitting open, so I've always got my PNG Tuber, which can show up at any time. OBS, which is a given. And then I've got all my...
Someone to
got-
redeem your cheese shard. Nice, Boom.
I drew that emote, funnily enough. Well, 90% of it. I have a whole emote attribution on Twitch.
Nice.
And then I've got another one that sits open, usually as it's being made, But that is, and I don't have a name. Card Shark, Gamba Ghoulie. I just call it whatever. It's the card race game that I've been making.
Wow. So some of the software you use, you wrote yourself. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's what this cheese thrower is as well. So I'm just chroma keying out this background. Oh, I could have just shown us like this. Look, hey, look. Oh, look.
Oh yeah, like little cloud-like
Gato's
things.
covered in beags,
Mm.
or the easy, cheese. I can just spray you with cheese as much as I.
Deliciousness. Nice. I love being useful, says Chris Ball. Nice. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Otherwise, we're talking like Unity and Game Maker, which is where I make a lot of this stuff.
Okay. So Unity, Game Maker. So you're a Unity dev. Okay.
Well, not yet. I
Not
still
yet.
have to actually make anything that works in Unity.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm working through from learning Game Maker, which is a mixture of like Java, C++, and like a couple other things all mixed together, whereas Unity is just C++. So it's kind of a bit of a trajectory with the endpoint probably going to be Godot or Unreal Engine, weirdly.
Oh, nice. You get a new PC, you're crossing over to Unreal. Interesting.
Yeah, because Unreal just crashes this PC entirely. I don't have a choice right now.
Nice. Nice. Okay. That's Unreal, man. What's up, Mild Man?
Hey,
Mild mannered. Okay, and then what about? I'm assuming it's either OBS, Streamlabs, or
yeah, OBS is the main thing everything goes through, and then that in itself. Well, for everything that I have in Streamabot, I've got about 20, 5 to 20 sources per each one of those. That's like interacting to create animations on the channel, and just a huge like. I like everything to look scuffed, but I like it to work cleanly while looking scuffed. Like there's a level of engineering going on there.
Interesting. Very cool.
Mm.
All
Yeah,
right.
scuffed is a feature. Mild gets it.
Scuff is a feature. True. All right. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about your game development. What inspired you to start developing games?
Well, there's like three main things in my life that really kind of came together to make me go, oh, I can just do this.
Mm-hmm.
First is Artist, who we formerly know as Artist, because I can't tell anyone his handles, because he makes spicy content online for money. But his art is fantastic. He is forever making stuff that I am just mind blown at. If I grab one of his most recent pieces, which is actually a bit of concept art on the main game I'm making, which is off stream. Wherever I put it, there we go. So this is what he made up the other day, and this is one of the bosses. The first boss design that we've come up with. Come on. There we go. And yeah, he's based off of legendary lawman himself, Bass Reeves.
Okay.
And within the space of like 10-15 minutes, this is what he came up with, Like, he's a dude who lives and breathes art, and I've always wanted to bring to life the stuff that he makes. Another big one, it's the original Pokemon games. I fell in love with the first two gens of Pokemon games that made me go, I want to do this one day.
Nice.
And then the final straw was actually me Megatron. I
Oh,
just
really?
happened to be in the same stream as them, and it was mentioned that whatever, we got to talking because that's how chats work. And I went, oh yeah, I'm thinking I kind of want to make games, and her response was, just do it. I went, oh, I never even thought about that.
Oh, yeah. Let's go push a button, Mags.
Yeah. just
Yeah.
just start. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I could just do that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and almost a year later, she's now a good friend.
What are you waiting for? Just do it. True. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is. You do hang out in her community quite a bit, and she knows you by first name. Yep.
Yeah. She's got the N-word pass. She knows my name is Nick.
Nice. And then Mild Mannered says he's got a fact for us. Bass Reeves, the IRL person that inspired the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, this is a dude that back in the day, back in the 1800s, arrested over 4,000 people and only killed 20 in the line of duty.
That's a lot of arrests. Holy cow.
Yeah, and for only 20 people over 35 years, that is actually insanely low as well.
Also, I think that's really cool that Mags was the last push that made you take the dive into game deving.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Ended up, and yeah, it's weird to think it's like, oh, because of that one action that one person did, I've now got a few very close friends from all of this, and a whole bunch of weirdos I get to hang out with are also super cool.
True. And Mags has been doing great things. A true inspiration from Ultimation AI. Very cool. Very true. I also think Mags is a really cool person. I enjoy hanging out with her streams when I can. All right. So speaking of game deving, I've been watching you dev your game on stream called Not Pac-Man. Can you tell us about your game, Not Pac-Man, and what makes it unique?
Honestly, you probably watched through the section of me when I was at my most burnt out, and Not Pac-Man was a here's an easy thing that I can just have a bit of fun with making. Another raid. Hey, Basie.
What's up, Basie? Hello. Wardstone
you
getting the
doing?
raid love today. He's got an
Yeah.
interview. Welcome, Basie.
So probably not going to be paying as much attention to chat, but I hope your stream went well, dude. I did lurk in there a little bit earlier.
My lurkers wish to partake. Nice in this interview. Well, very cool. We will have a segment later where you guys can ask questions. So you think about questions that you want to ask your streamer. Okay, but you said Not Pac-Man was just because you're at a burnt out level and you just wanted to practice fundamentals deving?
Pretty much. So I realized that I was going through a huge section of growth. I'd learned a lot, and like I haven't even reached a single year programming. And like a couple of weeks ago, I actually thought back and man, I could kick my ass from about a year ago at coding. So it's like, wow, yeah, no, there's a huge amount of growth that's been in there in a fairly short amount of time, but also there's been a huge amount of burnout because, you know, you can only do so much and express so much energy in a short amount of time and be okay. So yeah, Not Pac-Man was very much a not learning opportunity and a reason to go over already treated ground to just feel good about myself, because if you're constantly doing things you've never done before, you're always just going to feel stupid. You're constantly moving that bar. So I thought, screw it, let's do something safe. And it was just a nice chill few weeks of dev while we got into the busiest time of year for me, like professionally.
No, you could learn a lot. I was talking to a coworker who has a programming background, and they said one of their earliest assignments was that their professors gave them was to code solitaire. And like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like that takes a lot of thought, and like there's learning to be done, and then you learn that fundamental, and then once you learn those skills, you can go on to make better games.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment, actually, is making making a full-on card game.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
And solitaire is actually one of the bases I think of, because you've got so many different places that need to hold different need to hold different amounts of data and not different kinds, but different values all over the place.
Legally distinct card game. True, basically. True.
Yeah, it's like legally distinct Pac-Man. It's not Pac-Man.
Okay. Yeah, but does your not Pac-Man have any unique aspects, or is it very much inspired?
It's very much just a Pac-Man clone. I did have the idea of putting modifications in there and changing up how how each of the ghosts find you and track you down. But it also got to a point where there was so many add-ons and things tacked in. I went, gonna have to refactor all of this code. But as for originality, that is probably my and I almost feel bad, like you're going, what makes this game unique? I'm like, this is my least unique project I've ever done.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's getting you to learn fundamentals, which I think is great.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I've been all about for the last 6 months of last year, pretty much, except for December. That was sleepy time.
Yeah, like one of the devs I learned from on YouTube, Gorka Games. Like most of the time, a lot of his tutorials are inspired by other games. Like, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna make an Assassin's Creed like game," and that's how I learned a lot of the fundamentals that I know on Unreal, was watching those tutorials and doing those same things to make a game that already exists, essentially.
Yeah, because everything's just a rehash of other ideas. Ultimately, it's just what is your spin on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the mistakes you make along the way that you go, oh, that's a feature?
All right. What challenges have you faced while developing Not Pac-Man?
Me.
You?
I'm my biggest challenge. Dude, this entire thing has just been burnout, self-doubt. Oh, yeah, actually, I've got... Hey, peek behind the curtain. We get sent these questions so we can have a bit of an idea.
Hey,
I actually put into here... I mean, what... No, in my notes, I've got a, wow, you're a depressing bitch, just written to myself, so that's cool.
oh.
Because I've just got burnout and self-doubt sitting there. But yeah, that's been it. Like, it's just that constant thing of like, oh man, am I doing better? Okay, am I doing where I should be? Am I learning enough? Oh man, all these other, comparing yourself to other people.
Mm-hmm.
The up here is your worst enemy sort of things. But overall, like, yeah, no, I'm like the biggest obstacle to overcome, because I will sit here and happily work for like 12 hours. I go and do a full-time job. I come home, I work for like 4 to 6 hours. Stream is usually like 3 to 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Burnout and self-doubt are the names of my kids, says Zombie UK.
Yep. And if you ask any dev, they'll pretty much probably say roughly the same thing.
I think a lot of devs have the imposter syndrome.
Like, absolutely.
Like
I was
if
sitting
you talk
in
to
Aaron's stream.
Yeah, if you watch Mags, like Mags doesn't think they're an amazing dev, but Mags is like light years ahead of me, but I compare myself to them. I don't know. It's just like a lot of devs are like Boom also is like, I don't know how to code. Like, I know how to do spaghetti, but I don't know how to code. I'm not a real dev. But we all look up to Boom like, you're like a god with spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. One and like, Boom, close your ears. Just in case. But no, Boom is like one of the big inspirations as well because of something she said, which was, "Hey, this took me 3 years to get here. You just need to spend 3 years
Spaghetti.
doing the thing you want to do." And I went, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right. I don't have to be good now. I have to be good in 3 years' time. So I have to put that effort in now to get there."
Yep, Max is an amazing person, creative developer, true zombie UK. Notter's burnout and self-doubt is what I have for breakfast, says GeoFracture Games, who's also got 10 years of dev experience making their own game. Spaghetti coding. Yep, it's all the time, Nutters. Cheese is also coding, true. Yeah, you wouldn't think that making, like, a lot of people are like you, like, it sounds like your little cheese thing is something you made. And you're like, oh, that's nothing special. It's just some stupid little toy type of thing. But that's still very impressive. Go ignore me. Like, go talk to, like, you know, some grandma at a church somewhere and be like, I made this little app. Throw cheese at people.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, whoa.
Like, once again, if you put that project down in front of me a year ago, I'd be going, I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put that together, the base of it, I put together in like 3 hours. You know?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that actually, that was probably one of those points that I went, oh man, this would have been difficult for me a few months ago, and I can just spit this out like it's nothing now, you know?
Coding is as close to magic as we can get in IRL. True, that gamer.
Yeah.
Smokescreen, convince the granny to invest in your startup. All right. What tools or software do you primarily use for game development?
So now some of these are going to be weird, right? Ability to look at code as a puzzle is the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Because your whole thing is you want this outcome, you have to find the formula. You are literally creating a mathematical formula to get that outcome. So you're working from a floating idea in your brain and then making just something work that is close enough to that you go, oh, that looks nice, and also not being afraid to just change it up on the fly. So looking at it at multiple angles, like it's training and it's life experience, which has been the greatest tool, because every single time I get stuck, I refer back to like previous experiences where I go, oh, this is just like that in a way, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so logic from life is one of the biggest tools, and logic is literally coding. So that's definitely something you use. Okay.
Also, the fact that I'm an electrical engineer, who hopes to go for his doctorate in electrical engineering.
Wait, you're double E? You just happen to have a double E degree?
Yeah, so I am, I've got my bachelor's of electrical engineering. I want to go for my master's soon. It doesn't take much from where I'm at. And then from there, the hope is to jump up to doctorate in medical, specifically in medical electrical, which is hopefully to fold back in the one of the things I like, whereas I want to make like prosthetics is the big one. Like try to merge all that back in together into this one thing that I'm pretty passionate about, because I think it's absolute dog shit if someone, sorry if that's an offensive term here, mentioning dogs.
You're okay.
But I think that's actually terrible that some people get given a raw deal in life, and like anywhere they're like, all right, well, you're not sort of doing too well off. Pay a bunch of money to make that be less of a problem. Yeah. Like something I do at the moment. So I 3D print. I do a whole bunch of 3D modeling for basically life aid items for mostly people with diabetes who have insulin pumps, and they
Okay.
need something that they can carry around with them. I actually don't have one with me at the moment. Bugger. But the idea is that it holds a vial of insulin and a battery, so they can quickly swap everything out in their pump if they're on the go.
Oh.
Working in a cooling pack into a small carry case, and then the idea is this thing is like this big, rather than having to take around a whole bag with you that warms up throughout the day. A number of things for elderly people. You know, they have trouble getting their shoes on. They have trouble with holding things as they get older. You know,
Yep.
small things to pick, just help pick things up and
Mhm.
manually handle things throughout the day, like just stuff like that. And it's like, well, it doesn't take much.
Mhm.
Just one helping hand and a dude with a 3D printer. Holy crap, their life's changed.
Yep.
Mm.
3D printed prosthetics. Yeah. Sounds like
Yeah.
kind of the stuff you're thinking about. And then Peppo mentioned earlier, logic is what makes humans thrive and be dangerous. No other animals have logic like humans, as far as we know. True. And then Zombie UK says, and to think he started by sticking forks in outlets.
I've done that.
Oh, wow.
I've done that a lot. When you can't find where the breaker is, you just short it out.
Oh, that's a quick way to figure out, oh, which breaker is
Yeah.
the circuit? Okay.
Grab some pliers, chop the wire, bang! Okay, it's that one.
You could
Uh,
do like every other electrician I know. It takes a boombox that's plugged into the wall, playing at full volume, and flipping breakers until the music stops.
Yep,
And
or
not
getting
have.
those little pens that you plug in as well. They light up and scream at you.
I have done that. 2, 1 small. That's a good way. Okay. So you have an electrical engineering background, which
Mhm.
also helps with logic and programming. And you're leveraging that to also do games. And learning the logic and programming for games is your hope to your career to potentially make, prosthetics and different things to help people with disabilities.
Yeah,
Is where you want
I
to go
hope
with
to.
it.
Whether or not I actually end up there is probably a different thing. But for now, I'm doing the stuff I can do.
Hey, if it isn't able to handle that multiple times, is it going to handle while you're asleep? Or the way the air races can't fix the issue like fire? It's true, Beppo. Is there a tool for short circuit tests,
Yeah, you could. A lot, like, because in New Zealand everything has to be off an RCD, so residual current device.
Yep.
The idea is that how you got 3 pins on a plug. That third one at the bottom goes down to earth, and the idea is if you've got a little bit of electricity sneaking off down that way, it trips at the board. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a tool to test RCDs that cause them to just flick off, which you can do, but if you just got a circuit breaker, then it's only looking for huge spikes in current.
Yep. RCDs are like GFCIs for you Americans. We have those in Europe too. It says smokescreen. I was trying to think. There was like a cool video I watched where like there is a disabled person that shakes a lot, and they've never been able to like feed themselves well. And then a university came up with like a gimbal-like spoon that like cancels out
Yeah.
the movement, and it's like it made the night or day change in their quality of life.
Yeah.
So I commend you, dude.
I
Like if you could do
I had a
cool
great
things like that.
auntie, and I'll never forget because she would make cups of tea and bring out a tray of all the cups of tea,
Mm-hmm.
and she had the shakes. It wasn't Parkinson's or anything like that. It was just like a age with her nerves just sort of not being where they should.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll always remember her coming out with this tray like this and not spilling a drop of tea somehow. And I thought, this is the most amazing thing ever. She can't help but shake all the time, but she's figured out how to work everything and how to change the outline of her house in a way, so it worked in her favor. She was a waterbender. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, nice. Interesting comment, Beppo. All right. Next interview question. How do you approach game design and make it both fun and engaging?
First and foremost, I am the primary audience. Same with my stream. I am the primary audience. Because if I'm doing something that I enjoy, or that there's something that is aimed at me, I know there is at least one idiot out there who loves this thing. And there's also a chance that there's going to be more people like me who enjoy it as well. So I've also... hey, so this is going to sound like a bullshit alarm, but I've also got my certificate in psychology.
Wait, what?
And yeah, I am a multifaceted individual. I have got a whole bunch of formal learning in a whole bunch of different areas. Psychology, cooking, horticulture. There's like another one or two in there that I forgot everything about, and there's a reason for that.
Which is?
In New Zealand, your first year of learning for a while, it just recently changed, but your first year of learning was free and paid for by the government. So every year I would go and choose a new, like a new thing to study and do a year's worth of that course and try to cram as much as I could into 1 year by condensing those courses. So I've got a couple of certificates. Can't remember what they are. I think one of them's horticulture, but that also might just be here's a whole bunch of learning. I didn't really pay attention to that part. I was just doing, I'm interested in this year. Let's do this thing. And the psychology one came as a extension of I had an ex who was doing psychology and like doing formal learning in psychology. And when they left all their books here. And because I was helping them with their study, as well as like all the books being there, I just went, you know what? There's a course. I could cram a whole year's worth of learning into 1 year and just do that. I know most of it anyway. Although geofracture, it's funny you say that. When the apocalypse happens... I've got a little Raspberry Pi that I've got a whole bunch of learning material sitting on that is sitting inside a Faraday cage that I have also with some solar panel and battery backup that can... It's one of those like GoKit computers, and it can Wi-Fi connects to phones as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just because I thought it was fun. And, maybe one day it'll be very handy. But for now, just very fun.
It's going to be Marty Zombie says Mr. Zombie UK. Interesting.
Where was I? So where was I? The approach to game design. Sorry, I get really distracted. Can you tell? This is why I never finish a single project.
Yeah, you were. So if you guys didn't know his Discord handle, it's Aimless Tinkerer, and we're finding out very quickly that he is definitely a tinkerer. Like, how multiple starts to multiple degrees and certifications. And somehow made it through. Electrical bachelor's. There we go. Congratulations. And potentially just thinking about master's doctorate. Okay.
Yeah. I've also... So with the game design side of things, I also like to take into the idea of like Feng Shui. And... It's not a mystical whatever. It's just poorly translated to sell to like single suburban mums. But it's more of an extension of like psychology in a way. Like one of the major things is like when you're sitting at a desk, don't have a window behind you or a door behind you. It's just, it puts you naturally on edge sort of thing. And so using those same ideas and putting those into games when I'm doing the design side of it, super important.
Work for game devs. True. All right, let me ask you another question. Are there any features or mechanics in Not Pac-Man that you're particularly proud of?
Uh okay, so this is one of those ones I struggled with. So, um, not Pac-Man, not at all.
Not at all. Not proud of that
No,
one.
no, nothing particularly that stands out. I'm not proud of. It was a safe. It was a safe project. I
Mhm.
have 2 other projects that I have like stuff from that I was like, oh man, I am very happy with this. So I've got a game called Top Down Sword Guy. Brilliant game, I know. Master of naming here. It show like across the board, it just shows growth.
Mm.
There was so much growth that went into that game as me as a programmer. That is like my pride and joy. And
Mhm.
then anything that I make that just doesn't have magic numbers sitting around. It's all like any game where I type some code and you don't see a single number. It's all variables, and variables getting changed through other variables, and like a nice cohesive system like that makes me very happy to look back at.
Mm. Very cool. And then Geofracture Game says, take notes, use anti-feng shui to make a horror game. True.
Yeah, I have. I've got a hallway horror set up. We actually designed it with artist on stream, and the whole point of it, like when we were going through the more visual design of it, that was going through my head. Anti-feng shui, literally.
Mm.
Make the player feel a little uncomfortable, and you've got a good horror game.
True. All right, this is probably a loaded question for this aimless tinkerer. Do you have any other game projects in the works?
Yeah, like 5. So I've got Top Down Sword Guy version 2. It's just a cleaner version of the first one, refactoring the entire code. I've got the card racing game that I mentioned before, where just working on that for chat with chat. I've got a current untitled card game, which that is a very slow, methodical process at the moment. Then we've got the overlay works, and then we've got like Goblin Cop, which is the game. That's the dream, ultimately, is Goblin Cop.
Tell us
I
about
realize-
Goblin Cop.
I realize, yeah, that had no explanation. Basically, when we played D&D years ago, Artist was our DM, and he came up with a setting which was called Goblinburg. Everything, it was just 1920s Goblin aesthetic. And I thought, man, this is fantastic. Like, I'm having a great time. And it was something that he had a fantastic time designing as well. And then when we started working together on bits and pieces, my mind kept going back to that.
Stan walked into my office. True zombie.
Stan walked into my office. Yeah, literally that. And the whole idea behind it is that it's every noir trope. And it's a vehicle for jokes and just dumb jokes. So between me, auditor, and artist, the 3 of us are sort of just slowly making that as things go on, as time goes on.
Very cool.
Mm.
All right, next question. How do you gather feedback on your games from the community?
So, yeah, I'm a small whatever streamer. Like, I can count the amount of people who play my games on one hand, and on their hand too, assuming they've got the same number of fingers. But I give it to people who will give honest feedback, who won't just go, "Oh, that's really good." I want to give it to someone and go, "Hey, I didn't gel with this. Hey, I didn't like this. Hey, this didn't make sense to me, or I had difficulty here." It's not stuff that's going to be harmful. It's like stuff I need to know to make a good experience. And then the other one is drop it on a lap of someone who I think might enjoy it, and just watch them play.
Okay.
I've had a friend sit at this computer. Like, I was like, "Oh, hey, try the new game I'm working on. I'm just going to go get ready, and then we'll head out." I ended up getting ready, coming back and watching him play for another 20 minutes because he was going, no, just one more game, I'll get there, you know?
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Criticism is crucial for growth, says Zombie UK. True.
Yep.
True.
My number one criticizer right there.
Oh, really? Nice.
No. But he Mr. Zombie has also been very crucial in my growth over this last year as well.
Amazing. That's perfect. True, Geobreaker Games. I aim to make his the best he can be. True. All right.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to aspiring indie game developers?
Dude, that's the easiest one of this entire question so far. I was
Okay.
about to say list. It's not a list. No, fail. Just fail constantly. Reach a point where you go, well, I've failed so hard. Well, that made a mistake there. And then just learn from it. When I was Sparky, I would run some work crews, and I had this young guy who really hated the idea that he was being bossed around by someone who wasn't that much older than him, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take him aside one day and say, hey, look, that guy has failed more times than you've ever attempted, like X, Y, and Z. The reason you're listening to him is because he's seen every way that this could go wrong, and he knows how to work around that.
Yep. And you said a Sparky. What is a Sparky?
That is Kiwi slang for someone who's an electrician.
Ah, okay. So you have an electrician background. Okay.
Yep. So, how I went through my my tertiary learning is I went and did a pre-trade course where you get all your basic knowledge base there. And then you do a year and night courses, and that gets you past your certificate in electrical engineering. From there, nice. I realized that, I only need like 2 or 3 more, and I got my bachelor's. So I went, cool. Went away, did those over the course of 6 months, and came back with, bachelor's. It does what it says on the box, right? Mm-hmm. And then I spent the better part of a decade, actually a little over a decade, being an industrial electrician. So working in big factories, doing big design work, and working all over the place, like all over the world even, with a specialty in hazardous areas.
A decade?
Yeah.
Bro, you have such a youthful face.
Thank you, Gato.
I'm like, wait, what?
I've been a registered electrician for 13 years.
What? Bro, what is your secret?
Don't sleep. If anything, I look at myself in the mirror and I go, man, the lack of sleep over these last 10 years has aged me.
He looks amazing. No sun. True. That definitely helps.
No, yeah, that is very true. Didn't see the sun for like 3 years once.
Oh,
obviously, hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
I'd see like sunrise and sunset, but for the most part, I was working night shift.
Oh, night shift life. Yikes.
Yeah.
Spring chicken, lamau. Let's see. RGB Productions. Wardstone is doing a collab with Ninja Gato. I am interviewing him, so he's not at his normal time. But I appreciate him making the accommodations to try to find the time that works with us. Because you are in New Zealand, correct? And I am in the Americas, East Coast. So, yeah, huge time
7 hours difference between us.
Yeah, you're living in the future.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I think of you as 7 hours ahead. But yesterday. I always just chop off that last bit of my brain, though.
And do you agree with GeoFracture Games' earlier comment says there's nothing more rewarding than seeing someone else take joy from something you've made?
I don't know. It's definitely rewarding. But I try really hard not to put any ego into what other people think of me because, like I said, I'm my own worst enemy. So the downside of that is like, hey, when something bad happens, I go, whatever. But when something good happens, I go, whatever.
Tough,
Yeah.
tough crowd.
Oh, I'm the worst.
Zombie UK wants to know, did we win the war against the insect overlords? What does that mean?
I, for one, damn it, I forgot the quote. It's a Simpsons quote. We're in a group chat, and because I say morning when 3 other people in the group chat are like in the going to bed stage, he sends that most mornings. Do we win the war against our ant overlords? And it's just the Simpsons thing. I, for one, approve of our ant overlords.
Yep, don't know the reference, but I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Okay. Alright, but your advice to anybody who's looking to be an indie game developer is just do it and fail. Like, learn from your mistakes. Fail and often, because there's better learning done from failure. There's a lot of good learning done from failure. Okay.
Yeah, purposely break shit. The amount of times I've purposely broken something that works just to go, all right, what's the extent of the system I've made? Like, you get so much learning done.
Very cool. Alright, let's talk about your stream and streaming. How did you come up with your channel's goblin theme? Because I have noticed there's quite a few goblins hanging out.
Yeah. So there's hang on, I'm just trying to find it. So the channel's like profile picture is we just call him the MC. He's got no name. He's the Humphrey Bogart type, the main character from every 1920s noir film, sort of thing. And that comes from that Goblinburg aesthetic that I mentioned before. And then the other character, which is the one that sits above me in the actual stream itself, that is a sidekick that we have fully fleshed out, and the 3 of us have gone, oh, we adore her. And it all just comes back to that one D&D campaign we did, where I just went, I love this aesthetic. I love this weird idea that artist has put forward, and he eventually just said, just take it and make something with it.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I've also noticed a lot of times during your stream, you're at the bottom right inside a very old CRT monitor and a desktop that looks, I want to say, like 90s 2000 themed. What inspired your 90s 2000 theme video capture setup?
A mixture of nostalgia and like, I started off with a very scuffed look, and I just kind of think it's funny that it looks like shit. I realize that's probably not great and enticing new people in and being like, hey guys, come have a look at my cool stream. Ignore the scribble made in Microsoft Paint. I swear it's cool. I do need to move away from it and just add a little bit of extra polish, because I've even had, I think it was Mavox. She said to me, oh, hey, it took me like 3 or 4 times getting raided into you before I went, oh, I get this.
I mean, you have a theme. I mean, being consistent and having branding is important as an influencer, and you seem to love the scuff.
Balance.
Yep. All right. How would you describe your streaming style to somebody new?
Chill, wholesome, chaotic, and inviting. That's probably the best description. Because
cool.
It's this weird mix of a whole bunch of people who are balancing on the knife edge of being trolls, who get the pass because, you know, they're there for sort of, they're all there about lifting each other up, and myself included. bunch of people I consider friends, but at the same time, it's like, you know, someone comes in and then all of a sudden the word cheese is just spammed into chat like a million times. So I have to offset that by being a little bit more inviting to every single person that comes in.
Nice. And then
Yeah.
Mr. Zombie UK wants to know, has anyone mentioned the fly yet?
The fly, hang on, is it? Nah, there's no fly here today.
Okay,
Someone's
now I
watching
need
in.
to understand the reference. What is the fly? What's going on here?
So from my very first stream, there's a hyper-realistic picture of a fly that sits in the top left-hand corner of the stream. And it's been there. It's been there the entire time. And just every so often, it's not... This is like most of my jokes. They don't have to hit 100%. It doesn't have to hit every time, but occasionally, once a month, I'll get someone going, that damn fly. It doesn't have to hit every... Because when they're watching on their stream, they'll see a fly on their screen and try to shoo it away.
Oh, so you get somebody, at least.
Yeah.
I will
least
buy
once a
that
month.
fly. Says Boom. To this day, it still gets me sometimes, says Mr. Zombie UK. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's usually people who know about it, who every so often they just go, that damn fly.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. And then let me ask you this next question. How do you balance streaming and game development? Chaotic good. Amazing. Angie.
I kind of don't very well. Like, I work a 9-hour day.
Okay.
I come home. I might sleep and like nap and do chores for a couple of hours, and then I jump on and I'll stream for like basically for about 4 hours. Like I'll sit here from 2 to 3 hours streaming, and then you know, a little bit of after for whoever I'm raiding, or a little bit after for if I'm working on a project, or just have that time free so that if I go for a bit longer, if I've got the energy to go for a full 4 hours or even up to 6 hours, then I sort of can. But then in the weekends, generally I'm doing 2 hours of 12-hour days of studying and dev work. I've recently had my Tuesday nights off free, which I'm trying hard to not do too much work on a Tuesday night, because that's like the only night I get a proper rest. So I'm just trying to relax.
Boom is gonna steal your fly. And she says, "Get animated fly picture for advanced trolling activities."
Yep. No. Yep.
That's.
Excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, he's gonna write that down so he can actually dev that.
Yes.
All right, let me ask this next question. Do you find the chat distracts you during development streams, or does it enhance your creativity?
Kind of bit of a both. I've got a bit of a rhythm to my stream that I've noticed. So like at the start, there's a lot of dev going on. Slow interaction streams happen as well. So like there'll be a lot of dev going on at the start, and as more and more people come in, you know, we get a few distractions. We learn some new things. Cool facts are shared, and there's also a whole bunch of people who go, "Hey, have you heard of this?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And you know, I learn about binary operators or something like that. And then closer to the end of stream, it ends up becoming chaos and yapping. So like, as productivity comes down, the level of interaction goes up, essentially. And then I've had full-on streams where I've had like, I want to say I had like 70 people sitting there watching me pretty happily. And just lurking. Like I had maybe 1 or 2 people interacting here and there as I was going through my work. And then the moment we raided over, all of a sudden you just see all those people drop because the energy's changed. And it's like, oh, okay, they weren't just someone who's fallen asleep. There was just people who might have actually been enjoying sitting there and watching, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's cool.
Yeah. That
All right.
fly.
That's fly.
It got me.
Down the rabbit hole you go. Yep. What's your favorite moment that's happened during a stream?
Can't think of a single moment, but it was actually an entire stream.
Oh,
I did a stream for my birthday.
okay.
Where I did a stream together with Beaks.
Oh, nice.
And he valiantly ignored his wife on her birthday to come hang out with me on mine.
Oh.
No, hers is like 2 days after mine, and she was like, go do it, go hang out with them. That sounds like you'll have a lot of fun, sort of thing. At least that's what he told us.
Okay.
But yeah, he came in, he gave me my initial learning and setup for Unity. And then just the amount of love and support that came through, and all these people that I consider friends just being there, I was like, oh, damn, this is cool. Because people tend to forget my birthday. So having all these people show up, it could have literally been 10 people show up. But if they're the 10 people I care about who are on this site, if you're not on that list, I'm sorry. Pretend you are on that list. But no, it's like, you know, only a couple of people had to show up, but it was just a really fun time I had with some good friends, basically.
Learning Unity on your birthday was the best gift ever, says Zombie UK.
Yeah, I got to watch so many loading screens.
Very nice.
Actually, I did. There was a lot.
All right. Are there any streamers who have inspired you or influenced you on your channel's vibe?
So I have a quick fire list. A lot of them have been like referenced and mentioned beforehand, so we can sort of skip through it a bit. But me Megatron started this mess. Basie, he's a dude who's a constant stream of kindness. We've got these two dudes called Nujank and Dead Slap. They were actually the guys who got me to affiliate, and they've just been top bros ever since. Like, they were the ones who got me over that 50 follower mark. Boom has been a huge source of inspiration between the chaos and then just context on time. Like, hey, 3 years time, you're going to be good at this, not now, you know? Booyah Grandma. I keep saying his name incorrectly because I think it's funny. Just super wholesome. He's just a dude who's always chill no matter what he does. And Beegs, who, as I've said, is my hero and also very old.
How old is Beegs?
So the reason I say he's old is because he's about 10 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
And for a while, for literal months, he thought he and I were the same age.
Oh.
Because we have a similar sense of humor. We have a similar taste in music. You know, Blink-182, they're fantastic. And there's a whole bunch of similarities that were there. And, like, we even joked that I was just the 2D version of him because he's a dude who sits inside a screen to stream, but his is 3D. So he made all these assumptions, and I just never corrected him. And then one day we were sitting in a voice call, and he said the phrase, "Guys our age."
Okay.
And I just went, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You know, guys our age." I went, "Our age?"
Question
and
mark?
just listened to the bomb drop as he went, "Hang on, how old are you?" And he realized, yeah, I'm a decade younger than him.
Ouch. Ouch.
But yeah, such a fantastic moment. And I wish there was more than just me there, honestly. But he knows. He knows.
It's those city miles, says Zombie UK.
Yeah, that's why I wear the glasses. See, they make me look younger. Ah, God, what is going on there? Ugh. See, the more of this I hide, the better I look. Got the beard, got the glasses. All I need is like a face mask.
Maybe. Full up VTuber.
Oh, damn. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. What's one thing about your streaming that surprised you when you started?
The amount of crime you can get away with and no one understands what you're doing.
What?
No. I'm joking. Crime
Okay.
free.
Mm.
How easy it was to find people just like me. The amount of times I've jumped in a stream and I've gone, oh hey, I do that. Oh shit, this is me. I realize the amount of times I'm sitting here just watching someone who has a whole bunch of very similar like thought processes as myself, you know, similar, what would you call it, senses of humor as well.
Okay. Do you have any plans to expand your channel's theme or content in the future?
So this year, I have got a game jam coming up.
Oh, nice.
And the big aim behind it is for, like, I'm really aiming it towards people who are newcomers and people who need that first push to just get into game dev. Like that's a little bit that's kind of what's on brand for me. Is I'm setting the bar low specifically so that we can drag more people into the space who are sort of on the fence. One of the people who I have told is competing is me Megatron, because she's very much on the fence. And now if I state this publicly, you know,
she's on the hook.
Yeah, exactly. People can go, oh, so game jam. But the main idea behind it is also be like, look, don't burn yourself out. Just do the best you can do, and the aim is more to do with increasing your own growth and seeing where your abilities are at, more than just being like, hey, you burn yourself out and get shingles this weekend. Do it.
Yep. Mag has to now. It's official. True, basically. Once Mag makes and releases a game, it'll break the dam.
Yeah, you just have to start. But otherwise, this year I'm looking more into YouTube channel uploads. You know, I've got basically a year's worth of backlog and understanding, and a few more design streams with artists, because it's just me having fun with good friends. Like that's what it's all about.
Nice. All right, let's do some personal touch details. Let's learn more about you as a person. What's your favorite game from the 90s or 2000s?
I have to say Pokemon Ruby.
Pokemon Ruby.
That game was so influential. That and Pokemon Crystal, those were the two games that just, I think those are the ones that made me fall in love with video games, you know? Like as a medium, there was so much going on there.
Nice. In Flamingo Trip.
That's like a type of dancing, right?
Maybe.
Influmental game. Go see a doctor.
All right. And then what's your creative process like when designing a new project?
Hang on. I realize I've got the perfect example just here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He has left the chair. Let's see what he brings back.
Okay, so I might have thrown out the pizza box that I scribbled a game idea on.
Oh no!
But I've got a pad that sits with me that is getting blocked out because of thing, and it is just full of. Now, if I go the right way, it's just full of ideas and designs, as well as I've got an Obsidian account that I pair up between my PC and my phone. So anytime I have an idea, no, don't take my free game designs. Those are bad ideas. If you do them, you'll get doxxed and cancelled.
Yoink.
But I've got a Discord that I have with artist and I guess I call him writer at this point because that's what he's there to do.
Mhm.
So artist and writer, and then between the three of us, we're throwing around ideas. Or I've got the Obsidian thing where anytime an idea comes to mind, I jot it down and it comes to the computer. Otherwise, a lot of the time I'm sitting here thinking about a fun mechanic. Like, what's a fun, bouncy little mechanic to base an entire game around? Like, Top Down Sword Guy was based on the idea that you just have a little guy that dashes through enemies to kill them. And then that made a really fun little arcade game that someone sunk enough time into it to get like hundreds of points, and to which my high score was like 30.
Casey says I'm buying the rights to develop Goblin Cup.
Yeah, do it. Make it. Do it. Do it, Basie. Make Goblin Cop 2. I dare you.
All right, so your creative process is jot down an idea, concept, and then work with that. Add some art, see where it goes.
Yeah. Just every idea gets jotted down and crammed somewhere that I can fish out at a later date and go, oh, I've had this idea. Hey, here it is fleshed out.
Okay.
I've got a whole design for a fishing game sitting on this computer that I'm probably never going to make, but I've got all the mathematical like mathing out all the ratios in the background to just make a fun adventure game based around fishing. There's a ton of useless information on this computer.
How has being from New Zealand influenced your game development or streaming journey?
Oh, easy. People think I'm funny. I'm not, but people think I am, and it's great.
Is it the
Either
accent?
funny looking or funny sounding. I don't care. It brings in the views, right? But yeah, New Zealanders have a cook's sense of humor compared to like the rest of the world. So it kind of draws people in. I do sit here and go, all right, I can understand everyone else sitting here and going, man, this dude, he's got a nice sounding accent. This dude, he's kind of funny. Why are all the Kiwis in my chat watching me? I don't get that. They can go outside and experience what I'm bringing.
Seth said, admire my in-game ideas, says Basie. Oh, that's right. You did get to see some of my interview with Pixie Meat, who's also from New Zealand. Yeah.
No. So since then, like, it's like, oh, hey, look, there's Pixie Meat, and there's conversations going back and forth. I'm like, did I just make it's weird to say friend, but did I just make an acquaintance through this? Someone I'm like, hey, they're cool. We'd hang out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Being English has the opposite effects as you write your games. Interesting. Did we just become best friends? True, Mr.
Yeah,
Zombie
it's kind of like that. The amount of times I just gel well with the amount of people that I find here, and it's like, what the hell is going on? Why can't I have this in the extremely conservative and racist part of the country I'm from? Wait, maybe there's a reason.
That's how the Gato Network works. I connect you with other cool creators on this platform. All right. Do you think your goblin theme resonates with your personality?
Nah, not at all.
Not at all.
No, absolutely. God, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here thinking like, nah, I'm not a goblin-esque. I'm not goblin-esque at all. At what point would I be goblin-like? And then I'm like, man, this entire interview so far, I come off cooked as hell. You poor thing, you're dealing with this right now. Dude, I fuck with people constantly. Uh, a lot of stuff that I do publicly is like always some form of bit. Like I'm always trying to bait someone into saying keywords to just kind of throw a joke in there at
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily at their expense, but it's a lot easier to like bait people into like making a funny happen. But it's also like really important that I balance that with all
Plan.
like the mental health care and stuff and all the core values that I have as a person. And so like I'm a lot more honest and genuine when I'm like in the private spaces. I'm like the opposite of an abusive relationship. I will abuse you in public if it's funny, but in like behind closed doors, I'm like, no, you're fantastic, you're amazing. Look, you did all this cool stuff, you know.
Very cool.
Dude, some of the stuff I've said to Mavox, I feel like, man, this crosses a line to the point where it's like in a more private space, I'm like, look, hey, you're doing good. Look, you're fantastic. I want to make sure that I'm not overdoing it.
No, Mavox is pretty solid, dude. Like, it's hard to rattle her cage.
Oh no, she's given me a whole bunch of very fantastic advice as well. Like, you know, stuff where I look after myself.
Mm-hmm. Best friends
So
insult each other. It's madness, as Mr. Zombie
yeah.
UK. Yeah, he takes that very seriously. All right. If you could collaborate with any streamer or developer, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a really good one. So like in New Zealand, we have a company called Rocketworks. They're a
Mhm.
New Zealand-based game dev. They're setting themselves up to be their whole thing is like, hey, people want to come to work and they want to work here. This is like a dream job. They're trying to make a dream job like what would you call it? Like a place that's just a dream to work at. So their whole thing is that you don't have sick days or holidays there. Those are just both infinite. Because why would you show up to a place that's like, this is my dream job and just call in sick all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like if something's going on, they're going to call you up and be like, hey, well, what's going on? But like that was like a big thing when they did that here. And yeah, I think that would be a wonderful place to work. And I would love to get my skills up to a point where I could work for them, with them or whatever. But if we're talking like the more realistic levels, honestly, I'm just happy to just hang out with other streamers doing similar things, talk about their projects, get excited about their projects, you know? Like,
Okay.
I'm unashamed about reaching out to people and go, hey, you want to do a collab? I will. Sounds fun. Just a one-off. Nothing serious.
Very cool. Very cool. What's a fun fact about you your viewers might not know?
That I'm never beating the allegations.
Explain.
No, I've honestly got no idea for this one. Like, I'm fairly open about who I am as a person. You know, hey, I have to work on my mental health. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that, you know, hey, this is troublesome, but I'm actively working on it, so it's not a negative thing. But then it's like, hey, the stuff I do hide, that's the stuff that's like, hey, well, I don't want to get doxxed.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference between doxing and what I show on stream, I just try to show who I am on stream more than anything. Like, I guess because it's like inconsequential. I think I broke my toe last week. That's something that people might not know.
Wait, what? How'd you do that?
I kicked the shit out of the door frame or something. I can't remember what it was. I just remember the swear words that were used. They were plentiful and colorful. And then when I took my sock off later, because kicking your pinky toe, it always hurts, and it hurts for the rest of the day. It's when I took my sock off at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, that looks like one of those little mini Savloys, and it's pointing in the wrong direction. Oh no.
That sucks. Told
Yeah.
class what shape it was after.
Like a Savloy. It was so like, say there's my foot, it was pointing off like that sort of thing. And it's
Oh.
like,
That's not
yeah.
good.
And I was like, this was like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, if I go to the ER, I'm probably not going to get seen. I'm not going to sleep in the ER again. That sucks. Right. Strap it up and I'll check it in the morning. Woke up in the morning. I'm like, it's still not looking good, but I don't think I can really call in sick for work like this. So I did a day's work, running around doing my usual stuff, and then went to the doctors afterwards, and they basically just said what I thought. And they're like, well, it's, x-rays and all that, hairline fractures. And they're like, oh, hey, yeah, it's dislocated, so strap it up. But because there's so much swelling in there, we can't really pop it back into place. So it's gone back to normal though, Mr. Zombie. It's just a little bit sore is the only thing now. So I just had to strap it up for a few days. Swelling went down and it kind of just back into place.
Oh, just magically.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah. Treatment is usually just buddy tape. Yep.
Mhm.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
Just had to tape it all up.
That's fortunate. 100% you fracture games.
So not really a fun fact, but it's a fact.
Right, you said you wouldn't sleep in the ER again. I mean, you've had a wonderful sleep there before?
Hey, you ever had spice that's just far too spicy and you're worried you're gonna shit yourself to death, and so you go to the ER because you're in a lot of pain, and they just put you on a drip for the night and a place just a small room with your own bathroom? Because I have.
Wow.
That
Spice
was-
emergency?
Yeah, like that was it's very funny, but it's also one of those things where they're like, hey, you might have had a bit too much spice, you might have killed off your gut bacteria, you do have to give us a sample in a month's time or however far afterwards to see if your gut bacteria comes back, and if it's not at acceptable levels, we might have to do a fecal transfer.
Well, that sounds like fun. What the hell did you eat?
So I love to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, all right, I'm going to learn how to make curry from scratch. So when I did that, I followed the recipe, and it was an Indian guy's recipe, and he put like a whole tablespoon, like a heaping tablespoon of cayenne pepper in there, and like chilies and like all this other stuff. I didn't think I like spicy food. And then I like ate it. I'm like, oh, this is good. And I kept eating and eating and eating. And I'm like, well, there's still a little bit left. Oh, it's a little bit hot, but I do like spicy food. And so I finished off that last little bit. And then there was that point about an hour later. It's like a stone was sitting in my stomach. And I went, that's not good. Oh, well, I've got tomorrow off work. And didn't think anything of it. And then I woke up like just before midnight. And it was like, well, if I had to choose one word to describe it, I'd just say violent. Yeah, and it was like I was in a severe amount of pain, which was like, all right, this doesn't feel good. It might be best I call up one of my degen friends who's not so degen that he's like drunk or high, and just go, I need a ride, because I'm not driving myself in that state. Let's be fair.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, Sonata Warrior?
Hey, Sonata. How's it going?
Capsian cramps, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So don't do that again.
No. Like, here's the thing. I really love like ghost peppers. Like, I have the ghost pepper hot sauce. I usually would chop up a few and maybe put into like a meal. Obviously not a ton that's going to ruin my life, but I love what they bring into
Mhm.
like they bring into a meal. And generally, if I'm having something that's of that spice level, you do that pre-planning. You have a drink of like milk or full fat cream, like just a half a glass, like 20 minutes beforehand. And generally, what that does is that protects your gut bacteria and allows everything to sort of go through nicely and coat your innards with a layer of fat.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't just straight up die.
Noted. I still have one chip challenge to do, so I will keep that in
Please drink some full fat cream before and during.
mind. Yikes. All right.
Or crush it up and put it over some like adobo or something.
How do you handle creative blocks, whether in development or streaming?
Creative blocks, I suppose that's pretty much the same as burnout, because like I'm so inspired all the time. I watch everyone's content, but I get very burnt out. And then when I hit those walls, I try to take in as much inspiration from so many different sources as I possibly can. Because everything's just a remix of everything else anyway, and your own personal spin that you're going to put on your thing is what's going to make it special. So yeah, I'll watch classic movies, I'll watch critically acclaimed movies, I'll watch stuff that people have said is this is the worst thing of all time, right? And I'll watch it and go, but why? Like I'll try to get out of that block by finding creative ways to pull myself out of that sort of rut.
Okay. Do you have a dream project you'd like to work on someday?
One that makes me rich, or no, sorry, poor choice of words. One that makes me uber rich. Yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, no, jokes aside, the only dream job I have is, or dream project I have is like one that would make me rich enough that I could be a game dev full time.
Oh, okay.
That's because I love the act of creation. Whatever I'm making, I'm having the best time of my life.
Minecraft
But if
2.0.
there was something that,
maybe.
yeah, if there was something that just sort of helped me do that, then hell yeah, I would jump on that in a moment. I would, in a heartbeat. As long as it's not like selling my soul to Disney or something like that, you know?
Okay. It seems like we have a community reference in chat, so let's break this down. Enough funding to regularly buy chairs that don't spontaneously collapse or threaten to impale. Explain.
I can show you.
Can you?
Unfortunately, I can show you.
Okay.
Hang on. How disgusting is my background? Oh, not too bad. Right. Don't have headphones, can't hear you, but I'll show you the example. So this chair here, the back doesn't go up. So this chair here, you might have noticed that the arms on it are facing down. That's because the piston on it, the piston on it is broken. And every so often, those arms would pop, and I'd go falling down like about that much each time. I was napping in this thing, and this is what made me buy this chair. But I was napping in this thing, and the whole back just went like that. And it tipped me upside down and landed me on my neck while I was asleep. Freaked the hell out of me. But the comment that made me fear the most, was one that Beeg said when he came into chat one day, and it stuck with me because he showed up and he just said the phrase, "That chair will have you."
Huh?
And I went, you know what, that's fair. That's fair. So I'm terrified of the piston exploding out of it, and also it dumped me on my neck. It's got no back support, so I actually hurt the muscles in my back at one stage too. I'm just cheap.
Oh, so you had a cheap chair, and it betrayed you.
Not, I wouldn't say a cheap chair, but definitely an old chair that had well used up the amount of money that I'd put into it. Like, you know, a couple of $100. Had it for like 6 years. So
Okay. All right. What role does humor play in your channel and game development?
Let me ask you, Gato. Do you think I'm a humorous person? Is there any humor so far today?
It's been like nonstop, dude. Like,
Yeah, so like 50% maybe.
okay. Okay.
Like across everything I do is like a creative endeavor. I love humor, as you can probably guess. I love laughing. I love making people laugh, and as a storytelling mechanic in anything creative I've done, it's diametrically opposed to sadness. Something that's fun and funny and heart and like bouncy and fun, the moment that sadness hits, it hits you like a truck. There's a reason Disney movies make people cry, because there's this like beautiful blend of sadness and funny that those extremes just dump your emotions, and then like, hey, the resolution in the end feels all that better because you hit this well of sadness halfway through. Looking at you, Toy Story 3.
Yep. Okay. So humor plays a huge role in your content, your game development, and your life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How would you like your community to remember you in the long run?
I don't know, just a chill guy. Like, I have no aspirations for legacy. I just want to chill out and have fun with friends. Like, that's, yeah. I just want to have fun. I literally nothing, no like long-term aspirations. If they remember me fondly, then cool.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
And then I had similar questions with Pixie Meat, just because you live in such a different place that most of us experience. Like, New Zealand is very much a whole different world, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you might get some very similar answers, because I'm pretty sure I've stood outside Pixie Meat's house.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. She mentioned on your interview that she's like terrible at like not giving out that kind of key information, and with like bits and pieces of that information, I was like, hang on. Oh, you shouldn't be saying that, bud. Some people can figure some stuff out.
I think it has to be like a regional, the community stocking tree. I think you have to know those regional references. I don't think anybody Googling from the US or anywhere else trying to figure it out would have an easy time, I would say. But
yeah, no, it's just like up in that part of the country. It's like, yeah, you describe some very specific landmarks, and you know, I had a party boy stage. I'd go to that particular part of the country and party.
As party boys do. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's your favorite thing about living in New Zealand?
Hear me out. Samoan bouncers.
Huh?
Yeah, I know, right? I had a feeling you'd have that reaction. But like, when you're outside a bar and you know, it's late at night, you've had a few drinks, or you're going to a bar, every Samoan bouncer in New Zealand is just Korg from Thor Ragnarok. You show up and they go, oh hey bro, can I see your ID? Oh yep, no, I see the 19. You're good to go. I'll see you later. Sort of thing. Like they're the kindest, nicest, scary because like, you know, I'm 5'10", a solid 6'2" on a good day. No, but like you're looking up at these guys. They tower over you. They are built like tanks, and they have the kindest they have the kindest demeanor about them. And the most the memory in my brain that comes to light every single time is I came out of this bar. I had a decent amount to drink, and like I needed to go off to the toilet before we left. And I came out, I'm like looking for my friends, and this bouncer sees me as I'm like stumbling out, and he's like looking down at me. He goes, "Oh, bro, I think your friends went off that way. They're going to go grab a taxi down at the local petrol station." And I went, like the moment of fear, straight into, "Oh, I'm safe."
Interesting.
They're just the best.
So the local culture is definitely one of the things you enjoy about being in New Zealand. Okay, and the peoples.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're a melting pot of culture here. Like, there's not a lot of stuff that is a New Zealand thing. It's more of an amalgamation of like a whole bunch of different peoples coming together, and it's beautiful.
How has New Zealand's culture influenced your creativity as a developer or streamer?
I get to share the things about the country I live in that I absolutely love. I'm well aware of, like, we have our own problems, you know, every country does, and there is definitely you can always see that there is a positive sort of, hopefully see that there's like a positive direction things are going. But I get to sit here and be hyped about the things I love about living here. The non-Kiwis get hyped because they're like, sorry, the Kiwis get hyped that New Zealand mentioned, and the non-Kiwis are just fascinated by like how similar but different everything is.
Zombie UK says, me and Mrs. Zombie are planning to retire in New Zealand. Very cool.
I know.
Very cool.
I keep sending him pictures so he'll hurry up. Keep sending him pictures of all the beautiful scenery.
Are there any uniquely Kiwi elements you've incorporated into your games or channels themes?
So weirdly, no. I've kind of avoided it a little bit, other than just like I have a bit of a native bird fund, so I do have like a, hey, you want to donate money? I have a small fund I'm putting together for yeah, I saw that too. I go have like a small fund that is like I donate to New Zealand Wildlife Reserve here that looks after native birds, because we've got a very fragile ecosystem here, mostly of birds, and we've got a lot of pests that are killing them off in droves.
Oof.
And these things are cool, so it'd be a shame for them to all die off, you know. But otherwise, I try to not push the I'm a Kiwi too much. As much as not as much as chat anyway, when they ask me to say different funny words, because I've got more of an aim of like making sure anyone coming in doesn't get too much of a weird culture shock or too much of a like this is out there, you know. I just want to be welcoming and giving them a place to relax.
What are some of those weird words they want you to say?
You know that thing at the front of your house where you might have a barbecue and a few chairs and a table? What would you call that?
The patio?
Yeah, patio. They want me to say patio. And what is the flooring of a patio usually called? Or like the floor of the top level of a ship, maybe.
The deck?
Yeah, the deck. They want me to talk about my deck all the time. I don't know why. I'm just saying. I really don't hear it. I'm like, no, I'm. There's an ad. there's an ad which is very funny where this guy, he talks about his deck, and it's for a deck sealant so he doesn't get splinters on his deck.
Mm. You want to see
And
my deck?
I know the word they're thinking of, but I just don't hear it.
Mm.
Yep, there they go. There it is.
There it is. There it is.
And
What
Mr.
excellent.
Zombie doesn't hear it.
All right, can you share your favorite memory or experience growing up in New Zealand?
There's so many. But when I was younger and I did a whole heap of caving, of course it was always going to be when I was younger. When I was older, I'm going to do that. No, hang on. Where was I? I'm all over the place, aren't I? But there's a place called the Coromandel. Beautiful place. A lot of rich old people go there for like holidays, or if we have a COVID lockdown, those sort of things. But there's a whole bunch of these beautiful caves up there you can go caving through, fully kitted up, all the caving gear. And I remember me and my friend, we probably got a couple of kilometers in, and there were two very key points about this. One, there was an underwater river that we came across.
Oh, wow.
Where, hang on, I just realized I can do a diagram for everyone in chat. Get flashbanged, nerds. And again. And it was like, here's the cave.
Okay.
Here is, here's the bank that was all muddy. It kind of comes down like this. And then this is like looking at a side view, was like a river flowing underwater. From top down, it's like you're coming through the cave here. This is all the muddy slipperiness, and then you've just got a cutout where this is all water. And it's rushing fast, man. And we were like, man, there was literally if you fall in there, you will die, and no one will ever know what happened.
Oh, wow.
Like that, it was actually really scary. Exhilarating, but scary, never doing it again. And then we got all the way down into the, like a really deep part of the cave. And as we got through, there was a, what would you call it? There was a carving in there. It was a, hang on, I could just find a picture. But to see this, which was literally like a couple of kilometers into the earth,
Carving of a troll face, or what was it of?
I'm about to bring it up. Just need to. So this is a poor example, but it was like one of these.
Oh, wow.
That's like a. This is like a. It was similar to this. It was a lot simpler in design, but it was quite clearly a. Yeah, Mr. Zombie gets it. You see this, like, deep in the bowels of the earth as you're caving through, and you're like, we're turning around or we're going to get cursed.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure if we go past that, a Taniwha is going to eat us.
Hey, what's going to eat us?
Oh, right. Sorry. Taniwha. It is a Maori water dragon sort of deal. They're considered tricksters who would like lure people into the water and drown them.
Oh, wow.
But it's like that's like a Maori mythical monster. But like, yeah, we go through there. We're not ending up too good. So that's the point we turned around and made our way back. And the reason I brought up that little river, one, because it's scary, and two, because I felt my foot slip as we're going back because I was rushing a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the moment that entire journey burnt itself onto my brain. It is practically tattooed on my frontal cortex.
Yeah, that's cool,
But
man.
yeah.
Right.
So favorite memory. Ultimate horror story.
What's a hidden gem in New Zealand you think more people should know about?
There is so many. There is so many things I could list off, but there
Cool
is these
adventure.
beautiful lakes down the bottom of the South Island. It's a bit of a hike, but when you go and look at them in person, they are like this gorgeous, like topaz color. Like their photos don't do it justice. Um, it does something to you when you sit there and look at it. There's another one up in a place called Taranaki, um, where there's like this lake halfway up the mountain, and you just get this beautiful look of the skyline. Mostly it's the natural features, like it's the
Mm-hmm.
nature when you're going for hikes through the bush. Um, all the way north up in Cape Canaveral, there's the lighthouse, the northernmost point of the country. And when you look out from that point, there is a clear line between the two oceans either side, where the two oceans meet, and they're just two different colors. That's gorgeous to see. It's wild too. You wouldn't believe it unless you were there.
Wow. Like literally, you can see the line where both sets of water meet.
Yeah, so gorgeous, man. Like
Damn.
this is a beautiful place to travel around and just see like the natural beauty.
Mm, cool. I'm gonna have to add New Zealand to my travel list.
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
How do you think game development or streaming community in New Zealand differs from other places?
um, I don't know. I feel like we take the piss a hell of a lot more. There's a level of like the next closest I think would be like the UK streamers,
Mm-hmm.
because I think there's a level of we will yell at each other as a sign of affection. If you're familiar with Finn is Fine, another fantastic streamer, who he's actually from the UK, lives here in New Zealand. Um, he epitomizes that, I think. It's like a
Mm.
sign of affection is if he yells at you and tells you he like to the point where he's like almost like, oh, I hate you sort of thing. Like there's a lot of that going on. It's like that's how you know you're getting close with someone. Like there's a familiarity there. Um, and I just quite haven't quite seen it with anyone else. It's kind of weird.
Cool. um, have New Zealand's natural landscapes inspired any of your creative projects?
Um, Scenery has definitely inspired a lot of my paintings. Um, so, like, there's nothing better than going out into the middle of somewhere with like canvas and paintbrush and all that, and just painting the scenery almost Bob Ross style. Like, that's probably the main one that's directly affected
Mm-hmm.
a creative project. Yeah, that's probably the main one. Yeah, more so with my paintings, since that's probably because that's a more visual medium, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how long have you been painting?
I want to say since I was like 15, something like
Oh,
that.
nice.
And the main reason that I started was because my mum was taking up like folk art, like learning to paint herself. And she struggled with a couple of things, and I was a teenager, so I was drawing over all my school books anyway, so I would help her out by doing basic bits of line art, and then over the years I realized I was doing little bits of painting here and there and more, and it kind of just grew till eventually it was like, oh, this is just something I occasionally do, and I didn't even realize. I think I've got a couple if you want me to show off what I got.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I got one over there, but I got a cool one over in the other room. I'll be right back.
Okay. Ward is such an interesting dude. He's all over the map. You guys enjoying yourselves? That's everybody in the Mikoverse. Wait, who's that in the background? And Maury's a pineapple? When did we get that one?
So this here doesn't show up very well. Where are we? Ta-da!
Oh wow, Elefante.
Yeah. So that was it's sitting on MDF.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is just that was meant to go up on the wall in go up on the wall down in my workshop down in the basement, because I've got these big gaps where it's like this is a crawl space underneath the house.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I don't want to just put random bits of wood up there, so I got a couple of bits of MDF cut up. That one was just one that was left over, because what I decided to do was take out one of the paintings, which was that one,
Mm-hmm.
and put up another one, which is a bunch of drawings my godkids did when they were like 3 and 6, and they scribbled all over and drew over a bit of board for me, and then that sits up there, and that brings me so much more joy to look at. I've also got another one.
Hang on. He's an amazing guy. True zombie UK.
This one's less impressive. This one's much less impressive because I had like 12 beers. And it was at like this drink and paint day that we had for work. But there's like a Van Gogh Starry Night inspired one. There's so many mistakes on this that I hate. Like mostly like this here, how that goes up, whereas all these go down in terms of like the curvature.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I got
Might
so
go get
there's
me
so
another
many little,
beer. True zombie
Yeah.
UK.
There's so many little things about that. I'm like, I don't like this, but I put up with it because I know at the time I was like, I don't drink, and I had 12 beers while painting that, so I probably did pretty good all considering.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Do you find being in New Zealand offers any advantages or challenges for indie game developers?
Not really. Like, we're in the age of the internet, right? Like, I can sit here at my house in New Zealand. You can sit wherever you are in a Guatemalan brothel, and we can still sit here and have this fantastic conversation together. Like, the internet brings us so close together.
True. All right, another New Zealand specific question. What's your favorite traditional Kiwi food, and do you think it would make for a fun in-game item?
Definitely not for a fun in-game item. And, like, this is where that melting pot of culture thing kind of comes in, because, and I stand by this, one of the most Kiwi foods we have is actually Chinese takeaways.
Explain. What is a Chinese takeaways?
So, Chinese takeaways, you'll have, like, sweet and sour pork. The recipe for it here is a little bit different than, say, you'd get a lot of other places, and the reason for that is because in the early 1800s there was a lot of Chinese settlers who came over during the gold rush.
Okay.
And so when they came over with their like with all their food recipes. And as time went on, you know, those recipes got changed and edited, and they kind of morphed more towards the ingredients available and the tastes of the people they were cooking for. Because as you can imagine, they're not just hanging out with other Chinese settlers; they're hanging out with all the settlers from all the other different parts of the world that came here all at once. So you get this intermingling of culture, and the greatest intermingling of culture generally is like food.
Food. Yep.
And so that's taken on its own like little transformative space as well. And yeah, that's why I have to say it's like Chinese takeaways or Indian food, because there's a lot of Indian settlers that have come over as well. Butter chicken pizza is like an example of that we have here.
Butter
which is fantastic.
chicken pizza. Wait, what?
Yep.
Explain.
Instead
what is a
of
butter
using-
chicken pizza?
Instead of using just like tomato paste on the pizza, you're using a thickened butter chicken sauce, and then you're putting the chicken chunks you put in there are sliced a bit thinner so they can go onto the top, and then they can bake on and get this sort of nice crust in there as well. It's like I think of it as really normal, because I'm like, yeah, I'll just go down and get a butter chicken pizza. It's awesome. Yeah, basically a curry pizza.
Oh, so it's a curry pizza. Okay. Well, okay, Pixie Meat's favorite pizza was like pineapple, tomato, onion, mayo, if I remember correctly. Like, what's your pizza?
Oh, mate, look, I'm not happy unless I got a good cheesy sausage.
Cheese and sausage?
Yeah, just cheesy sausage. It's like 3 different kinds of cheese. It's
All right, have a good night, Sinews.
Oh, have a good night. And it's just amazing. And like the only place that I can get it from is literally a less than 5-minute walk from my house. I could call them up, wait around for 10 minutes, and then get there and back within 5 minutes with that pizza. Whether the pizza makes it home is a different story, but you know.
Okay. And then...
But so good, man.
Okay, and then Pixie Meat said like a staple is what was it? Canned spaghetti and meat sauce on toast.
Yep. Or you get like the little pita breads, you chop them in half, and you get like the canned spaghetti, and you put on there with a bit of cheese, and you make like mini pizzas.
This sounds disgusting and delicious at the same time.
It's so good. It is so good. I could go on about food forever, man. Like, I love food. I'm a fat man stuck inside a slightly thinner man's body.
Okay. How does New Zealand time zone affect your ability to connect with international streaming audience?
My ability. It's a little bit difficult. It's actually a little bit lonely, because you know I've got all these people who are about 12 hours out from me, or like the American friends that I've made is like, oh well, they're 5 to 8 hours ahead of me. And as across a day, you know, time is fake, let's be fair. And it's like, all right, cool. When I finish work, they're all going to bed. Or like during my day, like, yeah, it's like I'll talk to American friends if I'm at work and I'm like got nothing to do and I can message some people. And it's like all the European friends, for the most part, I'm asleep when they're awake, and they're asleep when I'm awake, sort of thing. And there's that band either side in the middle of the either side of the day, where it's like it's almost like we get all our interaction done at once, because it's go 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 go. Okay, then it dies off.
Yeah, definitely takes a lot of coordination and then some some whatchamacallit, some
Yeah,
concessions on
Zombie
each
gets it.
side. Yeah.
We have an hour of intense banter at either
Yep.
side of the day.
And then your UK friends all go to bed.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
But we still manage to get like movie nights in, or gaming nights in, or in my case, gaming mornings sometimes, you know?
Oh, nice. Okay. So,
Yeah.
you've kind of adjusted to them, wake up early, and then that allows you to connect with them. Okay.
And then, like, hey, we're all degens. We all stay up until like 2, 3 a.m. pretty happily.
Mm.
And then next thing you know, it's like, well, actually, that's the middle of the day for the other one. So, oh, well, there's actually a decent amount of time we can hang out.
That's the part of the day I actually look forward to, says Mr. Zombie UK. Nice. How long have you guys known each other, Mr. Zombie UK and you?
Let's see. Mr. Zombie, do you know how? Probably about 10 months.
Mm.
Yeah,
10 months, and you
I've-
guys are almost BFFs.
pretty much. It's weird, man. It's like, because friendship comes down to like where you are in your life compared to other people, and the amount of time you spend around them. So it's, in this space, anyone and everyone is just like a quick message away, So like that level of being around them, I guess, feels like it's extended a bit more because of this, and like there's a lot of shared interest there as well.
Nice. Okay.
Mm.
All right. And then this is the part of the interview where we open it up to the community for questions. So any questions from the chat or Gatos? What do you want to know about Wardstone? In the meantime, I'll ask a silly question, or actually I'll ask the standard question that I usually ask. What's one piece of advice you wish you had when you started streaming?
Don't put your ego into it. And
Explain.
that, like, and this is definitely for me, and it all comes back to like, I'm my own worst enemy. Any success is great, but then that becomes the norm, right? And then like, you're never going to have constant upward success forever. You're going to have things that you're going to have failure moments. You're going to fail, and you need to fail. You need to feel the sting of failure to get an idea of like how to check your head sometimes. You don't put your ego into it. We're all just doing this as a part of like we're having fun. This is a hobby. None of us are really doing this as a full-time job, except for those few who are managing to do a full-time job, and honestly, power to you. Yeah, aim to have fun, right? Like, the moment your ego comes into play, all of a sudden, you're more likely to hurt yourself than anything else.
Yep.
And also, there's the possibility of you becoming a massive prick.
True.
That also sucks.
True. All right. Basie wants to know, how much actual cheese is there in your house right now?
6 slices of Edam cheese and that, like, terrible plastic sticker cheese. Exactly.
Dubious on. Okay. All right. More questions, community. More questions. What do you guys got for this streamer? If you could travel anywhere, cost or PTO was not a concern, where would you go?
Oh, I don't know. Like, there's so many places I want to experience. Probably like Japan and Germany are the two that stick in my head the most. Japan's such a different culture. And like, we get a lot of Asian influence here in New Zealand, as you can imagine, with a lot of like commerce back and forth with China, the Philippines, Indonesia, and being so close. But like Japan still has a very isolated mindset, so I think it'd be really interesting to see that. And the reason I want to go to Germany is because I've been on and off learning German most of my life, and it seems like a waste to not.
Wait, what inspired you to learn German?
My grandfather came from Switzerland,
Okay.
and they speak Swiss German, which when I was like, I know at some point in my life I learned that Swiss German is to German, that Scottish English is to English. It's almost incomprehensible sometimes to the average speaker.
You don't speak Swiss cheese. Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of areas around Europe. I'm like, well, there's a whole bunch of history here. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And screw it, let's put my ability to speak another language to the test. Let's give it a shot and fail. Because what's the worst that could happen? I pull out my phone, type in the thing, and then ask them in English because they all speak English there anyway.
Probably. Probably. Oh. All right. All right. Any other last call for questions? I'll do one more silly question. You could have a superpower. What would that superpower be?
To turn invisible, not because I'm a perv, but purely because I want to show up to my mates' houses in the middle of the night, go visible for a half a second, freak them out, and when they turn back around to see me, I'm just invisible again, so they think their houses are haunted. Just off the top of my head.
Just to fuck with people. Just to fuck with people.
Yeah. Like everything else, it's like, hey, you learn to fly, you're getting tested on by the government.
Diabolical.
But yeah, no, it'd fully be go invisible just to mess with people, or just because I don't like necessarily being in crowds. I don't like necessarily being the center of attention. That's also handy. Or I just realized, even better. I could get around all my workplaces and get so much done without people coming up to me and going, hey, this is broken. Can you fix it? And I go, no. And they go, well, can you fix it anyway? Because we need it fixed. I will be the ghost in the machine.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to add a stream marker and then Extra Pip. How are you?
Extra Pip.
Thank you for the raid, Extra Pip. We are just finishing our interview. Wait, what? Super Villain just resubscribed for 7 months. Thank you for the resub, Super Villain ID. We are just finishing our YouTube segment, our YouTube interview with Wardstone Studio. Do you know Extra Pip?
I have seen Extra Pip a couple of times, but I think that they generally stream in the area which I'm sort of in my busy moment during the day.
Yes, if you guys don't follow Extra Pip, you should.
Actually,
he's an incredible streamer friend of mine who does incredible content and also a weekend gamer, mostly weekend streamer. Also does IRL content. So I've seen Pip in Italy, I've seen Pip in DC, and he's a really cool dude. So hang out with Extra Pip next time he's live. Eastern time, yes. Yep.
You just brought up a really good point. And
What's that?
And I totally forgot this until this moment. You are the reason why I don't like, and this is going to sound bad at face value, I realize this, but you're the reason why I don't like to give just shout outs all over the place, or just, what's the word? Or just like push people to the side, because you always do a very good description of someone coming in if you know them, or you do the, hey, what did you get up to? What was your stream about sort of thing if you don't know them. And I thought that was fantastic. So and this is what I've told to my mods, is like, hey, don't shout people out, because I would much rather shout them out and be able to do a nice big description about who they are and what they're about, more so than just shout them out and then go on to the next thing and ignore them from that point. Like, it's that engagement. It's that showing them that, like, I do know who and what they're about, and that I do appreciate them, sort of thing. And that's actually something I got from you from watching your stuff for the last couple of months.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to build meaningful relationships with my streamer friends. And part of that is, like, one, knowing their content, knowing what they're about, and, sharing communities and trying to, encourage others to go support my friends because they support me. And, yeah, having a conversation about, what their content is and, why you should go hang out with them, I think adds value.
Oh, absolutely. When I've noticed that when I raid out, I try to either give a good description or say to chat, hey, look, this is someone new, let's find out what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
And me doing that versus not doing that has changed the level of engagement after a raid sort of noticeably.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like instant. So I went from my stream where I was making some stuff to another streamer, Astonton-chan, who she's making a original Game Boy game in assembly and trying to make it so it is adhering to the limitations of the hardware and hopefully trying to port it over to that hardware. And I gave that rundown and gave a bit of an in-depth idea to chat before we jumped over. And the amount of people who stayed afterwards, like looking at that number, you raid in with however many you got, you do the quick maths, and then you're like, the math don't math out. They're sitting at like maybe a couple more, so a couple of people have come in since, sort of thing, and they're just all hanging out here. And I tried doing that on and off afterwards, and it's like, oh, hey, when I'm not doing that introduction, engagement and the amount of people staying just drops off instantly.
Yep.
As opposed to,
Assembly. Gross.
yeah.
Gross.
But like, there's definitely that, like, if you put the care in, if you show your excitement for a person,
Mm-hmm.
it'll impart a little bit of excitement onto those other people who are watching.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it shares that love just that little bit more. And I feel like it's a nice way to respect people as well.
Yep.
Hang on, if I do this. Nah, never mind. I keep seeing because I got a reindeer just there. You might be able to see.
I did not see it, but all right. Well, thank you again, Pip.
Yeah, there's reindeer.
Oh yeah. Odd object to have.
I know a guy. His name was Santa. He's got no legs, so he can't really pull the sleigh as often as Santa would like. So I figured, I'll give him a good home in the back of my stream.
Cool.
People think it's green screened in, and then I go pick it up. I love it.
Wow. Interesting. Yep. Yeah, Extra Pip. We are interviewing Wardstone Studio. Extra Pip I've had multiple collabs with before, and he was one of my earliest interviews, and I always appreciate hanging out with Extra Pip. But yes, Pip, you should make friends with Wardstone. Wardstone also plays Phasmo and other cool community games.
Yeah, stuff I'm terrible at, so it's good content.
It is good content. And at least it's not mounted. Wait, what? At least it's not mounted severed head shrews on the UK. Standard furniture.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair one. Honestly, there could be so many more weird things I have around here. Granted, there's weird things aplenty.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, one additional question.
Top of my head. Yep.
In New Zealand, do you guys get Marmite or Vegemite? And
both.
You get both. And what do you think?
Yeah. I've never really liked either. Because it is a strong flavor.
Okay.
Like,
is there one that you think is superior to the other?
Okay, I'm going to say something really controversial.
Okay.
That's going to get me kicked out of New Zealand, so shh. They taste the same. They're pretty much the exact same thing. They're just a malt extract, yeast extract or something
yeast
like that.
Barley extract or whatever, yeah. They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
all the shocked faces. Yes, you did say something spicy. They were like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Marmite is so much easier to use, much over, and it's overpower everything.
Yeah, like I know people have their preferences, but like when I've had it growing up, probably different as an adult, but growing up, like there was a strong flavor, and I was like, this just no matter how much I have, it just feels like it's a little bit of like fire that's burning my senses, sort of thing.
And it's overpowering. Yep.
Mm. Have you tried either Marmite or Vegemite?
Both. Yeah. Yep. I've done
What do you
both.
think of them?
I'm okay with them. Like a little goes a long way. I like.
Yeah, you notice that strong flavor.
That's like saying dirt tastes like sand. They have distinct tastes, says Koji. I'm more partial to Vegemite only because Vegemite to me is easier to use because Marmite's more like it's got more like a caramel like consistency.
Yeah, understandable.
And it's hard to like use very little. And then also mine keeps like resealing the bottle, and I hate that.
Huh. Okay. That like it caramelizes
It
itself shut.
caramelizes itself shut, and that annoys the fuck out of me. Marmite and
Okay, what
cheese
is actually? I'm
sarnies.
curious. What is like the furthest afield like food that you have had?
What do you mean by
Like you-
furthest afield?
Like you seem like a very worldly cat. I'm just curious. Like, what are some foods that you would consider like out of the norm? Like the furthest culturally distant food that you've maybe had?
Does seasoned crickets count?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, alone crickets don't have much of a flavor actually. It's just straight up protein in a sense. But if you get like seasoned, then it just kind of like carries the flavor. So I had like ranch seasoned crickets before. Oh, they were okay. They're okay.
It kind of sounds like how I describe rice, where rice itself doesn't really have a flavor. It just carries the flavor of whatever you put on it really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would agree with that assessment. So yeah, that's my furthest venture out of the norms.
So
What's your
I like to
furthest
try
adventure out of the norms?
I like to try to cook things from like as far out as possible, and like something that I see as like as just not normal or different
Okay.
preparations. It would have like the one that's culturally furthest from my norm, but which is still uses like a whole bunch of like ingredients that are easy to capture, would be like a Mexican adobo. Like I love it. I love
Mm-hmm.
the something about it just is just beautiful, and it's just like the spices, everything just marinates nicely, or not necessarily if you just want to put it in for 20 minutes and then go, I'm hungry now, which is 90% of the time. I make a mean dumpling. Man, damn it, this yeah, it'd have to be the adobo. Honestly,
Adobo?
that's probably the
Okay.
furthest out. Because like I said, we get a huge melting pot of culture, so there's a lot of stuff that feels like it's kind of homegrown, like a lot of curries and a lot of Chinese food, in a sense. Like I've had authentic Chinese cuisine, and it's like, oh, this tastes like nothing from the takeaways shop, and like my girlfriend at the time was like looking at me like I should say she's Chinese. She was like looking at me like, yeah, this is like proper food.
Yep.
You should never eat takeaways like that. That is just salt and fat.
Yep. Deliciousness.
Yeah, like
And not healthy.
Quick pickled cucumber. That's amazing. So it's like a
pickled cucumber? Wait, what?
yeah. So there's a method of quick pickling where you basically just chuck I can't remember what ingredients. So it's like some vinegar, and if like a couple other things. You put it all into a like a container with like obviously the cucumber. You shake it up for like 5 minutes, and they call it quick pickling, and it is wonderful. It still keeps like the freshness and doesn't have like some of the harshness that the pickling process some people like, but that doesn't have that harshness that the pickling process brings into some foods.
So what the fuck? Caveman Crafting, we're doing all right. We're wrapping up on Wardstone's interview, and we've learned a lot about this streamer. So, very cool, very cool. All right, guys, let's say bye to YouTube, and it's the same way to say bye to YouTube. The all caps HIYT, and we're gonna say bye to YouTube. So, thank you guys again. Let me get my stream ending. There we go. Alright. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to link all of Wardstone's socials down below. So if you guys want to check out Wardstone Studio in the future, go hang out with him. He's a cool dude.
Go check out all 2 of them.
And go have fun with him.